Hey, welcome back, everybody. Hopefully, you had a great holiday. Um, Another guitar. It said in one of my other videos that I thought that was going to be the last one for the year, and they always say one more, and it's this guy here. So today is just going to be first impression of this guitar, initial look, first impression. No plug-in, no demo, no nothing. So if that's what you're looking for, you can move on. I don't want to waste your time, but this is going to be my first impression of this guitar. I just pulled it out of the box, saved you the pain of having to go through an unboxing, and just give you a rundown of the guitar and, again, my initial impression thoughts about the guitar. Okay? So what is it? It is a Donner, as you can see. Donner is in silver. You can hardly see it on the headstock, and it just says Seeker. And I believe it says Seeker Series, something like that. I can't make it out. It's very, very lightly colored, and I don't see exactly what is going on with the glare in the office. But that's the headstock. A little bit Fender-esque, but not much. You can see it's got approaching that beak look that a lot of these companies do to avoid copyright infringement. Headstock adjustment is right there. It is... well, first off, let's talk about the guitar and why I even bought this thing. So first off, me being the schmuck that I am, I was intrigued with all of the reviews on YouTube. Like, maybe some of you are. This guitar is reviewed a lot. There are tons and tons of some of the, the more notable YouTubers reviewing this thing, right? Ryan from 60 Cycle Hum has done a review. Who else? Boy, oh boy, there's a bunch, and they just doesn't come to my cabeza right now. But there's a bunch of YouTubers that that have reviewed this thing and give it ridiculously good reviews. Things from best budget guitar out there, best affordable guitar on the market. Can't be this cheap. That type of hyperbole you're going to see on YouTube with respect to this particular model, which is the Donner DST-400. And I got caught into it, I'll have to admit. I said, Jesus, if these guys are raving like this about this guitar, let me try it out for myself. Now, I know I hit this with lots of caution, as you should if you're looking at those reviews, because every one of the reviews that really give this guitar a ridiculous type of an endorsement are sponsored videos. Donner has given them these guitars to keep and to talk about, right? Although they'll say, well, I told Donner I'm going to be honest and do my honest. The thing is, you get a free instrument from a company, you're still something deep down in there, you still feel obliged to some extent to give, a fairly decent review of that merchandise. I will not. This was bought with my own money, as all my guitars are, so I try to be as honest as possible. So let's talk about the guitar and first impressions. So first off, it is a Strat style guitar, but it's the Super Strat design, right? So you've got a humbucker in the bridge and two single coils. This humbucker can be split. So you can split these two singles into one single and make it approach the sound of a three single proper Strat. Although you never quite do get that sound. But, it can sound noticeably thinner by splitting this humbucker. And the way you do it is you take this volume knob, you pull it out, right? That will be the single mode, and then you push it in, and that's the humbucker mode. Now, one of the things right out of the chute that I find a problem with this guitar, and it will be a problem if you're a smaller person, maybe a child learning on this guitar, a student, whatever the case is, a young lady, whatever the case might be. It is extremely hard to pull this freaking volume knob out. Now, I'm not a small guy. I weigh, I don't want to tell you my weight, but it's over 200 pounds. And I find it difficult to pull this knob out. I can, but you have to use a considerable amount of force to pull out this volume knob, the second volume knob, to split the coil. I don't know what Donner was thinking, but that's not a very good design part of this guitar. It comes with one volume and two tone controls. Again, as I said, the second tone is the push-pull, or the split coil capability for the guitar. Very difficult to engage and disengage. Okay? That's number one. The other thing I'm not terribly crazy about, and again, I can't really understand what Donner was going for, and you're not going to see it that well in this picture with this camera, but this humbucker is a zebra-style humbucker, two-tone, right? Black and this second one is off-white. These are clearly white pickups, these two single coils. This part of the humbucker that is not black is a vintage off-white, distinctly different than these two. It just doesn't go with the rest of the guitar. So I'm not exactly sure what they were going for, but just aesthetically, I'm not crazy about that. Now, the guitar itself is a nice-looking guitar. This is a transparent green color, right? I forget the exact shade of green that they call it. It comes in two colors, this green and a black, which is also transparent, where you can see the wood through the coloring, the gloss on the guitar. It's not super, super prominent, but you can see it. Now, I don't know how well out of this camera you can see here. Yeah, you can see the wood grain on the guitar. It's attractive. And it's got several pieces of wood, this body, right? The neck is supposed to be maple, and you have the skunk stripe on the back of the neck. These tuners are vintage-style, Clouson-esque tuners on the guitar with split shafts, as you can see on the front for the strings, so you don't have that wire hanging out. It has two string trees. The nut on this guitar is a plastic nut, synthetic nut. What else do we have to talk about? I said 22 frets. The fretboard material is laurel, Indian laurel, which is fine. And I don't find it out of the box to be extremely gritty, which some guitars are out of the box. The fret ends are nice on this guitar. There's no noticeably sharp fret ends that I can feel. They're not rounded, but they were at least buffed down and sanded, it looks like. So there's no issues with sharp fret ends. The action out of the box is spot on for what I like it. There's no string buzz, and it's nice low action, which is another good thing. 3-ply pickguard. So you have your off-white, black, off-white, so it's like a vintage white color on the pickguard, as are the tone and volume knobs. 5-way switch is nice and tight. It's not one of these flimsy feeling 5-way switches, which is also another positive thing. Neck. The neck on the guitar is described as a thin C. It's a 9.5-inch radius. In my opinion, it's not a thin C. It's a normal C shape. I wouldn't say it's thin by any means, but it's not a baseball bat neck. It's a normal C shape neck. 1.65-inch nut on the guitar. These pickups are described by YouTubers as well as the not so much Donner, but YouTubers, as being Alnico pickups. So they're lower output, more detail than your ceramic pickups typically. The bridge on here is a 2-point tremolo bridge, which is nice. Again, at this particular price point, to have a 2-point tremolo bridge on the guitar, it's a good thing. The tuners, initially felt fine tuning this thing up. They didn't seem to stick or click or feel cheap. So the tuners seem to be, decent stock tuners, although, you probably want to replace them with locking tuners or an upgraded pair if you play out or you record or you play regularly with the instrument. The bridge is flat against the body, so it's not floating in any way. Here's your input jack, your normal Strat style input jack on the guitar. Has the normal Strat, cuttings and carvings on the guitar. Back plate. I haven't taken this off, but supposedly it has a full-size block. Tremolo block in here, which is nice because a lot of the lower-end budget guitars typically have the thinner blocks, the chintzier blocks. This doesn't. Comes with 3 springs. The Donner plate, neck plate, has Donner on it, the logo and Donner written across the back of the plate. Neck is a satin finish, non-glossed. Now, so those are my initial impressions of this guitar. So far, so good in terms of uh, the aesthetics, in terms of it came damage-free, thank God. Was shipped in a single box. However, it was shipped like the Fenders and Squires are, where there's sort of a box inside the box that it shipped in, a form-fitting cardboard. And it also came with a gig bag. So let me show you the gig bag that the guitar comes with. It was inside of here, wrapped, and then put inside this gig bag. This is not a super thick padded gig bag, but it is better than your typical dust cover. It does have a little bit of padding in it, and it's fine for you to move the guitar from house to house if you're jamming with friends or whatever. Wouldn't use it for much more than that because you can damage the guitar. It's not super sturdy. It does have the shoulder attachments on the back of the case as well. So that's just a nice touch that they threw it in. It also comes with this 10-foot guitar cable, which is nice, and it's a little bit better than your chintzy, typical, garbage cables that they throw in with a lot of these guitars. The Donner tags, which seem to be what they do now, are on the guitar, and this is a nice little chord chart for those, for those of you that are learning. And it has the string action ruler on the back, which is kind of cool. You can see that. And it comes with a decent Donner strap, actually, as well as, an adjustment for the truss rod for neck relief. Now, the other nice feature of this guitar is that it doesn't have that typical, threaded screw-in tremolo attach. This is a push-pull. You just pop it in, and it's in, right? I don't use it. But you pop it in, and you pop it out, and it stays in securely. So there's no screwing. This is typically found on higher-end guitars. That's another nice feature of this guitar. So the fact that it has Alnico pickups, a coil split, that pop-in, whammy bar, right, and the 2-point tremolo bridge are typically features that you find on a little bit higher-end guitars. I also like the fact that it has these vintage-style tuners that feel pretty good on the guitar. So those are very, very positive things at this price point. Now, the price point, here you go. So this guitar is a strange bird in that if you look on Amazon at any given day during the week, this guitar price is going to change. Sometimes it's $289, which is ridiculous, right? And then they have discounts to let's say $189, and then they have additional dollars off. So in any event, when I bought this guitar, it was $172.99 on sale, less a $30 coupon, and I think I even posted it as a heads up. So that brought this down to $142.99, which is a great price, for this guitar in my opinion. Free shipping. So that alone I thought was a very, very good deal, and that's why I pulled the trigger. I was looking for an HSS guitar. The fact that it had the coil split and I could, get even more sounds out of the guitar was appealing to me. The fact that it had a 2-point tremolo system in it, that it had Alnico pickups, I said, this guitar at that price point makes a lot of sense. So first impressions of this guitar, very positive. I think, I don't know if I would pay $300, to be honest with you, for this guitar, because when you're paying that amount of money, you're now in the EART range of guitars, the Sire range of guitars at around $300 to $400. What else? Squire Affinities are around that price. Harley Bentons are around that price, the upper end models. Are they going after that market? Possibly. But Donner hasn't been around long enough, in my opinion, to really say that they're a better guitar than any of those. EART has only been out a short time too, but they have very, very high-end specs on their guitars, i.e., roasted fingerboards, rounded off fret ends, you name it. They come with a lot of nice features. But this thing, I am very impressed, I have to admit. In fact, this appears to be a roasted neck, right? It's a darker wood with a nice grain to it. Now, it doesn't say roasted neck on the website, but it's a nice darker wood. Impressed. Again, I'm not sure that this guitar is better than in all honesty, than a Squier Classic Vibe. My opinion, it's not. I think this fits in the Squier line squarely where the Affinity fits. I've had several Affinities, newer models, older models, and I think this thing fits in that space. And the added benefit of additional features like Alnico pickups, as I mentioned before, this, which you're not going to find on an Affinity, the pop-in tremolo bar, and also the push, the coil split capability, which you won't find. 2-point tremolo is a nice throw in as well. But yeah, this guitar definitely competes, in my opinion, in that space very well with an Affinity. Now, the Affinity is typically, $279.99. Sometimes you'll see it on sale for maybe $249.99. Where this, I got for clearly $100 less than that when I paid $142 on Amazon, free shipping. And it came with a gig bag and these other accessories. So that's a good deal for this guy. If you can get this guitar in that $140, $150 price range with this stuff, I think it's a great deal. Now, I will be back with another video where I plug this in so you can hear what this thing sounds like, right? But again, I'm just trying to be as transparent and honest with you as possible. I bought this with my own money. So far, I'm impressed with the quality of the guitar. First look, first impression. I'll let you know what I think about the sounds of the guitar on the next video when I plug it in. Is this the best thing since sliced bread? Does it live up to all the grandiose reviews on YouTube? Probably not. In all honesty, but is it a good, solid budget guitar for someone that's learning as a second guitar, maybe a mod platform even, or just as a hobbyist like myself, just to have a guitar with these features on it? Yeah, I think it is. I think it's a great guitar, especially if you can get it for around that $140, $150 price range. So, if you have any opinions on this or any questions on it, fire them below. If you like these videos, you'd like to see more of them, please subscribe. And as always, guys, until the next time, be well and stay safe. Take care.